Good morning and thank you very much. My name is Chifunyise from Zimbabwe. CHIPAWO Arts Education for Development, a case study on arts education as a driver and enabler of social cohesion and inclusion. This brief on CHIPAWO Arts Education for Development is intended to articulate an example of how arts education for development is critical in fostering arts as a driver and enabler of social cohesion and inclusion. CHIPAWO, Children's Performing Arts Workshop, was established in Zimbabwe in 1989 as an enduring organization with a mission to benefit and empower children and society for posterity, unity and peace through participatory arts education. In short, in Shona, Zimbabwe's main language, the word CHIPAWO literally means give also, give your talent also. CHIPAWO, a non-governmental organization established by 4 arts educators and practitioners in theater, music, dance, and media, has developed an arts education program that involves children and youth in a participatory and creative learning process which is dynamic, gender sensitive, and democratic. In the past 23 years, CHIPAWO has reached out to children from preschools, primary schools, secondary schools, out-of-school centers, institutions for the mentally and physically challenged, and orphanages. The main thrust and methodology of CHIPAWO Arts Education for Development is the training of community performing artists to take performing arts education to schools and other centers of learning. On their part, schools contract the organization to occupy 3 hours per week of school's extracurricular time to run comprehensive performing arts education program in music, dance, and drama to children whose parents are prepared to fund their children's participation, as well as to the learning centers of disadvantaged children where funding for their participation is obtained from sponsorship from the corporate sector, development and donor agencies, international government organizations, and local charities and patrons of the arts. In CHIPAWO's Arts Education for Development, the child is the center of all pedagogical activities, where learning to perform with others is initiated from the first time the child begins to learn a particular performing arts skill, and where learning from other children and teaching others is the first step in the process of being initiated into becoming a responsible and committed performer and audience, and in achieving full participation in the cultural life of the child's community. In the year 2000, CHIPAWO established the Zimbabwe Academy of Arts Education for Development. I am the principal of that academy, which offers school leavers opportunities to obtain diplomas in performing and media arts through an intensive training and apprenticeship under practitioners in the creative industry. The diplomas are certified by university. Youth graduating with diplomas in the performing arts have taken up positions as performing arts educators who run the organization's school-based extracurricular performing arts education in 40 schools in 3 cities and 4 rural districts. Youths who have graduated with diplomas in media arts have secured employment in various audiovisual projects. Those youths who have been retained by the organization work in the organization's Media for Education and Development program. One of the organization's most visible Media for Education and Development project is a 30-minute television program, the EP Ganger, What's Up Guys, which is produced by youths, for youths, and about youths. and is broadcast every Monday evening on Zimbabwe television. The main thrust of this television program is, 1, to profile youths in arts education programs in different communities. 2, to profile youth-led projects that promote cultural diversity and enhance democracy building, peaceful coexistence, and tolerance. 3, to profile youth employment creation and poverty alleviation through artistic creativity. And 4thly, to profile young celebrities in music, film, theater, dance, and visual arts industries. This youth television program has not only demonstrated the benefits of community-based interdisciplinary approach to participatory arts education and that of the inclusive arts education through effective apprenticeship with the community, but has also presented a wide diversity of artistic expressions by the youth as a critical means of realizing or achieving freedom of expression at an early age. Through this television program, youths are exposed using the arts to show innovative youth creativity and to demonstrate youths appreciating and respecting their culture and that of others. The program also shows youths that are empowered by the arts to effectively participate in the cultural life of their communities in very inclusive, peaceful, and cohesive environments. With the support of UNESCO through participation program, CHIPAWO developed a traditional musical instrument manufacturing project where custodians of skills in making musical instruments trained children and youth on how to make a wide range of musical instruments being used in their music education programs. One of the most significant results of this UNESCO-sponsored arts education program was the training of youths from the Emerald Hills School of the Deaf, who now make marimba or xylophones, one of the most popular musical instruments in our country, and repair these instruments that are used by other children and youths and by themselves in their music education. Also, with the support of UNESCO through participation program, CHIPAWO developed a 10-day arts education module of training school teachers on how to partner community artists in developing and managing in-school or school-based education for development. This approach of producing arts educators has become the most proficient way of building partnership between school teachers and community artists to provide a vibrant arts education, especially in communities where schools cannot afford trained arts educators, and especially in rural areas where communities have a large reservoir of custodians of performing arts heritage. In 2004, the organization, with the support of UNESCO and UNICEF, pioneered the development of an arts education program for the mentally and physically handicapped children in children's homes and orphanages. The most noticeable achievement of this arts education program has been the inclusiveness and capacity, and capacity to show mentally and physically challenged youths empowered by an inclusive and participatory arts education to fully participate in the cultural life of their communities, and to show that they can share their artistic interests and build bonds of mutual respect and understanding with other youths in community environments that ensure that they, like other youths, like other youths, the mentally and physically challenged youths can fully realize their aspirations and potential. The best example of this inclusive and cohesive nature of this approach to arts education was the group of children from Emerald School of the Deaf representing Zimbabwean children at the World Children's Theatre Festival in Lingen, Germany in 2005 with their play Cry Thinking in sign language, music and dance. The same arts-empowered youths produced a 13-episode television drama program with the participation of other youths without such handicap, clearly demonstrating that arts are a vector of social inclusion when the handicapped and the ones that are not handicapped are producing a product showing that youths from these different positions can work together. Arts education enthusiasts in the Southern African region welcomed the results of the 2006 World Conference on Arts Education, Roadmap for Arts Education, the results of the 2010 Second World Conference on Arts Education, the Serial Agenda or Goals for Development of Arts Education, and the declaration in 2005 of the United Nations Decade for Education for Sustainable Development, and the International Implementation Scheme for the Decade for Education for Sustainable Development that was subsequently produced. Unfortunately, in spite of these clear roadmaps and guidelines of arts education and the implementation schemes on education for sustainable development, governments in Southern African region have not moved significantly in reforming their education systems to include arts education in the school curriculum, as well as mainstreaming culture in the education for development schemes. These situations has continued in spite of the appreciation by educationists in the Southern African region that arts are integral to life, that the arts are crucial vehicles of both knowledge and methods of learning, and that in many respects, learning through the arts is essential in transmitting knowledge and skills that enhance sustainable human development in many societies. The reason for this lack of progress in bringing the arts into school curriculum in many countries in Southern African region are many. The following are some of the common reasons that I will quote. One, the view that the school curriculum is already overcrowded with what are considered essential subjects to accommodate arts subjects. Two, critical lack of financial resources that are needed to reform the education system, the systems that were just handed over from the colonial days to the current independent states, in order to include comprehensive artistic and cultural dimensions in the school curriculum. Three, difficulty in building sustainable partnership between the community of custodians of arts heritage and education institutions. The partnership that is needed in producing effective in-school arts education programs. And fourthly, the tendency to use teacher education qualifications that ignore the capacity and competencies of custodians of cultural heritage as effective transmitters of arts heritage and as effective transmitters of safeguarding of that heritage for sustainable development. And fifthly, the absence of platforms for educationists and curriculum planners to dialogue with members of the arts community, both traditional and contemporary, in examining existing school curricula to ensure effective incorporation of arts education. In various programs that have been held in the last 4 years in the Southern African region, in the exercise of implementing the 2003 Convention on the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage, especially in community-based inventory of intangible cultural heritage, many communities have noted with great concern the existence of many obstacles to intergenerational transmission of intangible cultural heritage, especially the performing arts heritage. Equally serious concerns have been raised by the community of artists involved in implementing the 2005 Convention on the Protection and Promotion of the Diversity of Cultural Expression, of the slow efforts of government systems to accommodate, slow efforts of government of the Southern African region in reforming their education systems to accommodate comprehensive arts education in the school curriculum. It has also been noted that cultural policies that articulate strategies of developing and promoting of creative industries in the absence of appreciating critical importance of comprehensive arts education in the school curricula fail to provide a basis for growing viable cultural industries or creative industries. All these challenges being faced by the governments in Southern African region have clearly justified the need to support non-governmental organizations and cultural institutions that engage in the transmission of arts as critical vectors and enablers of social cohesion and inclusion, and that they are the basis for the development of viable cultural industries for sustainable development. In concluding the main features of CHIPAWO Arts Education for Development as a case study on arts as a driver and enabler of social cohesion and inclusion, it is necessary to indicate that this model of arts education for development has been developed by CHIPAWO, has in the last 23 years been taken up by non-governmental organizations in arts education in 4 Southern African countries, leading to the creation of Chifunyise in Zambia, CHISA in South Africa, Chinamibia in Namibia, and CHIPAWO in Botswana as arts education for development organizations which share the philosophy and methodology of CHIPAWO's experience of arts education as a vehicle for balanced emotional, intellectual, psychological development of children and young people. In the last 2 years, these arts education for development organizations have formed an international organization for arts education for development called Children's Arts Education World, CHIPAWO, whose main aim is to champion the use of the rich arts heritage, cultural resources, indigenous knowledge and skills as critical elements of participatory arts education for sustainable development. Children's Arts Education World is striving to promote effective partnership between the community of artists and custodians of arts heritage on one hand, and the formal education institutions on the other hand, in producing quality education for sustainable development facilitated through arts-driven creative learning and teaching. CHIPAWO has also created a platform for securing international assistance for running programs for effective training of school-based teachers and community-based artists as effective arts educators for development. The organization has also made itself available to participate in government programs aimed at reforming education systems to effectively bring arts into the school curriculum and the curriculum of teacher education, as well as to play a role in national cultural policy reforms that ensure that the arts education by non-governmental organizations and that intergenerational transmission of arts education by custodians of cultural heritage are effectively supported by proper national cultural policies. This ends my story about the case of CHIPAWO as arts education enabling cohesive and inclusiveness. Thank you very much.